Hi. Hi parents. So today I am going to discuss about the basic meaning of autism. Yeah, I know you all must have gone and googled it as soon as you would have heard the this term for the first time. But today I'm not going to get into the theoretical definition of autism or ADHD, but rather I'm going to bring up those points which I feel is very important for every parent to know about autism. And most of the doctors or the therapist or any special educator is not going to tell you about it. I have learned this through my the courses which I have done, and through more and more research which I did with my child. Through that I have learned, and even a few of the special educators, their videos are there. So through that I have understood these points, and I have jotted down very crisply those 5 points which you'll have to keep in your mind every time you are teaching any concept or anything related to house or school to your child. Okay, so let's get started. So my first point is that we will have to understand that the child's brain is wired differently. So generally what happens is, whenever we get any information from the outside world, there is a filter in between our brain and the outside world. Or let me explain it to you on the board. One second. So suppose, just imagine this is our brain, okay, and this is the outside world, and there is lot of input. Every time we are getting a lot of input which is coming to the brain. But in normal brain, what will happen? There will be one filter. What this filter will do is, it will only take something which is very important for the brain or very important at that particular instant, and that only that thing will be sent to the brain. But in autistic brain, what happens is, all the information is coming to the brain from all the direction at the same time. So the brain fails to understand which one is important and which one is not. So here what happens is, the child is not able to understand where to focus, where not to focus, because everything is coming with the same intensity. Sometimes it also happens that something which is not as important at that particular moment is coming even at a more intensity. So what happens, the child will not be able to understand it. That's the reason the incidental learning, I mean the learning on their own, is very less. So what should we do when we are teaching the child? We will have to keep things simple. We will have to keep the worksheet simple. Even if you go to doctor and you tell that my child is not speaking yet, they will say that talk to the child, talk to the child. But suppose if you are talking too much to the child, it's just words with no meaning. It will be just sounds with no meaning. Maybe the child will start repeating also, but the understanding will not come. So we have to be very careful. We have to speak only those words, like rather than saying come and sit with me, we can say come sit. These kinds of command we can give. Like you can take the name of the child and say sit, or you can simply say sit, like that. If you are calling him, please come here, rather than saying this long sentence, you can say come. Or suppose if you are creating a worksheet, rather than putting a border, a border is good, but like too much of decoration, cartoon and different sort of things, rather than putting that, simply give a box and inside that you put the assignment. Then the child will be able to do it easily, because so many distractions will not be there. So we will or if you are teaching the child, you will have to like make sure that there is no much sound, or the window is not open. These sort of, you will have to reduce the distraction, then the learning will be more. Okay, so always keep it simple, reduce the distraction, because the filter inside the brain is not there. We will have to externally provide that filter. Okay, so next point. Sometimes we feel that the kids don't have any emotions. A lot of times we feel it because they are not showing it out. So it's wrong. The kids do have emotions, but they don't know how to show it, and what is the benefit they are going to get it from showing that emotion. For example, suppose whenever my husband comes home, my neurotypical one, she will be like jumping all over him, and she wants constant attention from him. She'll start crying, or she'll do something cute and try to show her papa so that she can grab the attention. She will do just to grab the attention. But in comparison to that, my neurodiverse Shanvi, she will be like, she's happy to see her father, and she will be excited as well. But she will not be like jumping or trying to grab the attention. But it comes gradually. So what I used to do earlier, I used to show her, see papa has come, Shanvi, say go to papa. So gradually now, she has started little bit. Whenever he'll come, she'll go to him, and she'll demand for something, like she'll say that I want, she'll point for going out or something like that. She has started demanding also. So gradually it will happen. And it doesn't mean that the child is not having understanding, the child is not having any emotion. Child is having. Its only thing is that they will have to understand it, that how they have to show it, and it will take a little time, and we will also also have to help them out in that. Okay. So coming to the next point, they will be learning by doing it. For example, if you are telling the child, you are writing, and you are telling the child you also write, the probability is very less that the child will also write. Okay. I mean, if I'm talking about a little younger child, like 4 to 6 years, like that. So in that case, what you will have to do is, first of all, you will have to make the child do it. For example, you'll like just hold the pen and hold his hand and make the child write for some time, and then keep on saying this word, write. We are right. Any word, not like sometimes you are saying write, sometimes you are saying writing, sometimes you are saying that likho. So that will not help. Just use one term, and whenever you want to say that this thing you have to do, so you just use make the child do it and say that word, that write. So what will happen, the child will eventually understand it. Even like suppose anything you want to do with the child, you want to tell her that keep the shoes in the rack, or keep the utensils in the sink after you are done with your food, or close the washroom after you are done with your business. So you will have to make the child do it. You take the child's hand, take the plate in your hand, and go along with the child and put the plate down in the sink. Then you say that keep it in the sink, or something, some term you give it. So gradually you'll have to remove your hand. First you'll hold it like from here, full support, then little less support, like that, and then verbally you can say that okay, take to the sink. Or then gradually also the child will become habituated, and automatically they will take their plate and go to and keep it in the sink. So this way, whenever you have to teach any do's to the child, you'll have to do it physically. You'll have to make them do it. Make sure that they do it. They don't forget it. You will have to remember it, and you'll have to make sure that they are doing the same. So, and now how you'll teach if something you don't want them to do. For example, you don't want them to open the cupboard and take out all the clothes, or you don't want them to open the kitchen drawer and spill everything. So you will have to physically restrain them. You will have to keep the cupboard locked, or close the kitchen, or like if it is an open kitchen, you can just put some barrier or something like that. So make sure that the child is not doing it. I know it is very difficult, even sometimes I am not able to do it. Yeah, so physically you'll have to be stopping the child from doing it. Gradually the child will forget also. And other thing is that keeping the child busy will also help here in teaching like what not to do. Okay. And fourth point, this point is very important. I mean, just listen carefully. It's a little difficult to understand, but this is what happens in Google. If you will search, my point is like repetitive behaviors, or the rigid patterns, what we call. If you Google it, it will be definitely mentioned that they will be having repeated behaviors, or it will be mentioned like rigid patterns will be there. But what does it means for a parent? That will not be mentioned there. So what what it actually means is that suppose if a child is doing one thing right now, there is more probability that the child will be doing the same thing in the future. Okay, so if you want to build on something good, what you have to ensure that the child is doing it repeatedly more and more and more. And if you want to reduce some behavior, something in particular, you will have to make sure that the child is not doing that thing at all. Yeah, I know it is very difficult. If something particular thing which the child likes and it's not good for him, the child will be throwing tantrums, crying or something, but you don't have to give in to the child. You have to make sure that the child is getting what is good for him. This is actually very strong point of the people with autism or ADHD, and often it is being neglected on. People will not understand this, and they will be thinking that yeah, the child is doing every time he is crying, or every time he's any particular thing, that lining up the chairs, lining up the toys, or sitting just near the window, or sitting in a particular corner of the room. They're doing it every time. Why? Because it's becoming a pattern for them, that okay, whenever this happens, I have to go there and sit, or this thing which I am supposed to do. So what we have to do, we have to reduce something which is not required, which is not useful or non-functional, and we have to go on increasing something which is more important, which is more useful for them. For example, for my daughter, one rigid pattern is there, that whenever she gets up in the morning, she'll directly go to the washroom, do her susu and do her potty, then brush her teeth. After that, she does I'm also helping her because she's very young, she's 4.5 years old. I'm helping her to do some of the activities, physical activities, and after that she'll take bath, then she'll have breakfast. So it's like a rigid pattern for her. She has to do it no matter what is happening in the home. If it is a festival, or if it is something like I'm not there, then also she will do it. She will do it. She'll directly go to the washroom, do susu potty, and then brush her teeth. She'll try to brush her teeth. She definitely, right now she's needing help from some adult, but she knows that this is what she's supposed to do. And during this time there will be zero tantrums. Okay, but if we come on the negative side, she has a habit, whenever if she'll get some free time, no, she'll climb on the this dining table, and then she'll start banging it, dum 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 dum. So that is non-functional because it is not useful, and she is consistently doing it. As soon as any one particular activity will be over and I'll give her 2 minutes of break, she'll come running and climb on the dining table and start banging the table with her feet. So this is non-functional, which I will have to reduce it over the time. I'll have to ensure that she's not doing it, so that that pattern is, that behavior is coming down. So if I make sure that she's not able to do it within few 15 to 20 days, she'll forget that yes, this is something which I can do, and she will not be interested in that as well. Okay, she will be interested in something else which she'll be doing more and more. Okay, so our focus as parents will be that we'll have to build on good repeated behaviors or rigid patterns, and we'll have to reduce the useless or like non-functional rigid patterns. Okay, now I'm coming to the last point. This point is like we will not be made aware from anyone. If very good special educator is there, they will definitely tell you, but not everyone is going to tell you this thing. This is that the children, they don't improve on their own. They are, if suppose my child is writing when I'm holding her hand, she will continue writing like that. Even if she's having the capability to write on her own, she will be on that same level. On herself, she will not try to improve. And it is true for all such children. They will not try to improve on them. We will have to keep on challenging them. We will have to reduce our help, and we will have to bring more and more sort of activities in which their brain is being challenged. A lot of times we will be hearing that the same activity I am doing, the child is on the same level, the child is not improving. Yes, it will happen because we are if we are not providing any new challenge, they will not improve on their own. Okay, So these were my 5 points, which while parenting you will, if you are teaching the child anything or you're parenting or anything in day-to-day activities, just keep these things in your mind. I'm planning that I'll take each and every point in more and more detail in future videos. Let's see how it goes. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.